Alright, hello and welcome back to Planet Crafter. Okay, bit of a odd intro here. I've been having trouble with Blender. It's taken videos that you can watch in VLC and everything is absolutely fine, but as soon as it starts to open stuff up and edit the clips, it's desyncing the audio. I cannot work out how to actually fix that. So I spent a bit of time and because I'm cheap, I'll be brutally honest, I went and got myself a free video editor called Resolve, and there's a lot of fancy things it's going to do. So I'm going to try that for this intro. So there's a couple of things we're going to want to do today. As you can see, everything is coming on nicely. We've got some trees up. This is a bit later, and this is sort of an after thing. I'll give you a quick sneak peek of what I've been up to. Well, it's a bit of a quick sneak peek. As you can see, we've got a second floor up there now. There's a few other things that are out there. But yeah, it's coming along, and we'll get to that at a later date. But what we're going to do, what we're going to do today? Well, first off, we're going to want to do a few personal upgrades. By personal, I mean adding the stuff there. Let's close that so you don't get to watch it too early. We're also going to get the T2 machine optimizers, trade space rocket. Now remember we went out to that meteor crater and it was all covered in dust and we couldn't see what was in there? Well, now that's cleared up, so we're going to have a look in there. And lastly, we're going to go and explore some of those previously iced off areas. Now remember, you can only just see it, it'll clear up when things. In a previous episode I said there's a gap that runs between here and that point there, and that allows you to get into that following valley, and it cuts off. You having to run all the way down there and then run through a load of different places. But let's have a quick recap. We kind of busy, ended up not taking all of these down, but we've got a couple of these suckers down now. They're pumping out 1485 kilowatts each. So that's given us a fair whack more power capacity. And if we look in here, we've got plenty, because there's a couple of things going to be happening at the moment. As you can see, we'll have to check those messages. I've had a few messages pop in. The terraformation has gotten up, and we've just received the trade space rocket. But there's a couple of... Let's have a slurp of water first, shall we? There's a couple of things that have turned up. Now, if we look in our tech line, we can see that there's a space trade rocket. That's really helpful. You can use that, but we do need to get the circuit board, the Tier 2 machine optimizer. Now, this one, it allows you to stick 3 fuses in, and it will do up to 8 machines. So that's really quite helpful. Because it does cost a bit of obsidian. There's a machine optimizer. One doesn't need anywhere near that much, but it's just take out the iron cobalt and stick in the obsidian instead. Got the auto crafter. I'm not going to worry about that just yet. Down here we've got an incubator and not much else coming on down below. So let us, before we look into everything else, let's have a look at here. So we've got another message from Riley. After months of hard work, I finally managed to find my way into the Sentinel unlocking process and unlock the space trading rocket on your system. Usually terraformers are not able to use this, but it should help you. Chances of surviving are greatly improved when it's activated, but Sentinel almost never allows this for Planet Crafters. I have no way to tell if you're still alive or not. If only we could see each other again. Not exactly sure who Riley is, but he's being helpful. Now, in the last episode, we went through all the Warden stuff, and it's, like I said, it's a relatively short, and while I'm talking, I'll just click on these so you can have a quick read as well. It's a relatively short sort of storyline, but yeah, like I said in the last one, it's kind of sad that, one, it is so short, and two, they decided to do what they wanted to do. But to be perfectly honest, you don't kill your entire race just because of an asteroid. You try and find a way out from that, don't you? But at least you do try. You don't just kind of sit back and go, oh, we're all going to die now. And Zhao Dan, I think this is the guy that we saw that other message. No, it's not. I was thinking there was. Maybe we'll find out later. I don't remember on the last one. Now, there's a couple of things that did pop up. One, this guy, the water filter. We want the water filter. Basically, it allows you to drink directly from lakes. It doesn't mean that you're completely immune to having to carry water around. There are some places you'll want to take water. Still haven't gone past the tier 2 jetpack. And we've got the air filter there. Not much else here apart from we did put the microchip map up. So now if we hit on the map, we can have a look more. Should put some more satellites up when they turn up. That way I'll be able to zoom out and have a look. And then also put up the POI satellite, which highlights where you can mine stuff. So what we're waiting on is basically that. Now that's going to take 13.33 pascals. We're currently got 5.36 and we are generating 844,000 at the moment. I did put a couple of extra rockets up to bring the heat up, but now we're going to want to do the same thing with that, because with that thing it's going to allow us, wrong button, to basically not have to worry about coming over here and hoping that there's enough iron, because you do need a fair whack of iron, and highlight exactly what you want. So the general idea, I think, is going to be we're going to move this guy over that way a bit and put 2 more in here, because we can't 3 more in here. Let us stick 3 of these down. Get them as close as we can-ish. Because the optimizers do have quite the range. So we don't need to be too close. Now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want the 3... I should have grabbed the 3 obsidian, shouldn't I? And a tier 3. So now we go 1, 2, 3. So each of those is doing 500. So that is doing a many more. And as you can see down the bottom there, energy, it's taking 180 kilowatts. That's no problems. 250 meter perimeter, so it's quite wide, but it does 8 machines. So let's go see what we're looking at now. Remember, it was 877,000. And we're now at 1.34 million. So that's brought that up quite considerably. A couple of rockets, and then that should bring, we'll be okay, don't worry, us up to the 13.33 pascals, quite considerably faster. But that is going to give us a bit more stuff to, as you can see, I've got even more iridium rods in here because there's just no darn room elsewhere. Multiple box selections yet again. I have got some more iron back now, and I don't think we need... Oh, we do need some more cobalt. The one good thing about the thing as well is... Oh, actually, talking about that. If you look bottom left-hand corner of the screen, it was 370, but it was minus 2.3 per second. As the global TI goes up, that number goes down, which means we're using less and less and less oxygen to get around, which means we can hang around outside a little bit more. So the next thing we wanted to do, let's get rid of you two, was get the water filter. Right, so let's stick that on. Now this means whenever you come up with some water, drink. Woohoo! Yeehaw! So anywhere you go that's got water, you don't have to worry. Now, if you're deep diving in wrecks, you may need to take a water with you. And there is points later on in the game, once we get through to, and if we pop back into here, it's further up this way if I remember correctly. The portal generator, it's a separate area which has wrecks, and you go explore the wrecks and get generally high tier gear out of it. But quite often you will need water, and you'll also, and until your TI goes up high enough that you don't need O2, you'll need to actually grab some O2 as well. But that is all good. While we're at it, it's a bit of a long catch up on this one, isn't it? Did expand the rocket base out a bit and put some of these suckers here. And that does remind me, whilst we're at it, let me grab 3 more obsidian, because we don't have any more of those guys out, but that's not going to be too long before we do, and then we can get 4 more and then pump up the heat values around this place. Right, so what is the plan now? When we were in that valley through there before, we went over this way and we found that what looks like an open pit mine. If I remember rightly, I kind of compared it to Erzberg. Oh, by the way, if you haven't seen the Red Bull Hair Scramble, H-A-R-E, not as in hair on the top of your head, it's phenomenal. It's probably one of the wildest motorbike races you'll ever watch. It is long. I mean, it's like 4 hours, but oh God, the pain that these boys put themselves through, it's just epic. Did build this because getting all of this stuff is getting a little bit over the top. And I do want to empty those containers out every now and again, because otherwise you just stop actually gathering stuff. But while we were running around, we did pick up a whole pile of blueprints. So let's have a look and see what we get out of this, shall we? So there's a tier 2 speed increase for the vehicle. A display case. Tier 3 GPS satellite. And lights for the vehicle. But you'll notice in just even the time that I've been nattering, and it didn't take us too long to get all that sorted, and I wasn't kind of out of the game, or say in a pause thing, for ages, but we're down to 1.5 per second. Alright, so remember all of this you couldn't see. Now we've got a lake down in the middle, and look over there. Let's go that way. Look at that. Oh, we want that. You see that there? Whenever you see a single one coming down and it's pink, that is a... I've completely and utterly forgotten the name of the damn stuff. That is the pulsar quartz. So you'll get a pulsar quartz one coming down every now and again. Now, I don't really want to run out of O2 or anything like that over here. So let's just dump a wee box here. I tend to call them fabricator, because being in playing Subnautica and a couple of other games that call them fabricators, you kind of get used to it. Oh, have you noticed as well recently there's been an update to Subnautica? I wonder what that is. Might have to have a look at that. Let's go and have a look down that hole and see what is there. Now, this is either, I'm hoping it's going to be a bit more of the story. Tell us what's happened to these boys. Aha, look at that. What does this got to say? Okay, how many days have I spent on this planet? I can't tell anymore. Does my family even remember me? I miss them so much. I miss everything that is not a red rock at this point. Is somebody waiting for me back home? Is there really any chance of getting me out of here? I'm doing my best to survive, and I'm getting better and better at it. Maybe some help will come. Maybe they'll send a rescue team. There's no way nobody's looking for us, looking for me. Iklas. 3041. So still, what would that be? 14 years, I think, prior to when we got down here. Wow. Iklas. That doesn't look good for you, mate. What if I just stayed here forever? I found enough ice to drink and my crops are getting bigger and bigger. I've successfully set up an energy source with a few solar panels, and for now at least I finally have a bit of comfort. Could I spend more of my life by myself? Do you need company to live? Will I die alone? Oh, we always, I say, you don't always die alone, do you? I mean, you are on your own when you finally go, but there's often there's people around you. There's something really strange about this planet, but I can't put my finger on it. The more I spend time here, the more I want to say. It's nonsense. Alright, well, I'm almost finished getting rid of that stuff out there. There's still a fair whack more to do, but while I'm running around, I'm noticing a couple of things. Okay, there's these guys here. Those lead into the caves below this mountain area. I did have a peek through there earlier. There's a gap through there, and then there's another big gap through over there. So I've got enough to build a box. So what we're going to do is we're going to run around and have a look. because running around and doing all of that gets a little on the boring side all the time, so let's switch it up. And thankfully, I'd hate to think how much of a pain in the neck this would be if we didn't have a jetpack, eh? It would be kind of painful indeed. Look, there's one of those satellites. So there's more stuff over here, and obviously that leads through that point there. Well, let's go through that, because that looks like we're supposed to be going through that way in the first place anyway. Another cave entrance. Not exactly sure where this one is. Like I say, a lot of this is so long ago. Don't care, can't get through that. Don't have any explosives yet. Check it out. Now I do remember that this lot does get more water later on. So we just need to get a bit more. Now if you look down the bottom left now, we're at -1 per second. So that's going to give us, what's that, just over 6 minutes worth of O2. Aha! Go and have a look at what's in here. Definitely. Yeah, the fertilizer is going to come in handy. I've got plenty of iridium. Let's just grab that one anyway. There's a box down that direction. Let's go and have a look and see what's in that. Oh yeah. Oh, it's going to be another run back to base, isn't it? Oh well. But let's have a peek and see if there's anything else around here that we haven't seen as yet. Because if there's ores on the ground, then you can generally think that it's part of where you're supposed to be going. But there doesn't seem like there's much else out here presently. Let's have a quick peek over this way. And you can just see in the background there, that is that big ship that's over by the lava. And there's still some stuff in the lava area we haven't actually explored yet. And then there's also that... we haven't put down a resource miner for some obsidian, because we are going to need a bit of obsidian. I was hoping to find some more chests or something down here that would be good, but well, maybe not. Such is life. So let us go dump what we've got back in our box in the middle of the crater, and then we'll go through that other hole and see what's down the other hole. Okay, dumped all that lot off, and we're going to go up through that gap that we saw from the rim of this crater. Go and have a look and see what's around. I made a load more O2. I mean, even though now, you can see it's dropped down to 0.9 now. So eventually we won't have to worry about carrying any O2 with us. Oh, but 2 boxes. Okay, we're not going to take these. I'll come back for those and get rid of those, but let's just look and see what's in there. Lots of good stuff. Lots of good stuff indeed. And that looks like a way down. Oh, no, this is still 32 GTI. We're at 20 at the moment, so we've got a bit of a way to go. So we can't go down there just yet. Now there are a couple of other things that I have found, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish off transporting all that stuff back to the main base, and then I'll show you what I found. All right, so I brought back as much as I want. I put down a whole pile more boxes. I've rearranged a lot of this. All of this is still the same, but now we've got separate boxes for the rods and the ore itself. Done the uranium rods, aluminium, sulfur, osmium rods. We can't build those yet, but we will be able to shortly. Different boxes for all of these guys, and to sort of pre-get that. This is all sorts of stuff. And it's got a bit much, but I did make sure I wanted to keep all the rocket engines and also the fuses in one place for the time being. But before we go out and have a look at that stuff that I was telling you about, let's just go see what this is going to give us. Oh yeah, definitely want that. And what do we got here? A spacesuit displayer, which we might want to get that. Is this a single? Oh, yes. And there's going to be some more pulsar quartz coming down. Excellent. But while we're waiting for that to do its thing, so we need a methane cartridge and a zeolite, which we do have. Where the heck did I put the methane cartridges? That's the only question. There we go. And we need a zeolite, which is in the end of here. I've picked up a few of those. This means we're going to need another box for circuit boards. 1, 2, 3. Give me some magnesium. And give me a box. And give me a sign. There we go. So that sucker dumped itself right out here, which is pretty close to where we were, which means I'm probably going to need another box just on its own for the pulsar quartz, because we're going to want to collect a fair whack of this stuff. There's another one there. Come on. And there's another one. How many have we got so far? Well, there's 8 so far. Like I said, there's normally about 8 or 9. I can't remember exactly what. But I do remember it being around that sort of number. So let's just go dump those back first. And the first place we're going to go to is the Iridium Cave. And then we're going to go over to there, because as you can see, there are trees and they grow all the way down the side and you can get up to the top. It's mainly just more super alloy, which isn't really something that we... give me that. And before we start all of this, give me another box. I'm just going to put all of this in there. So, let's go and have a look. We'll take a quick slurp of water. And we'll go have a look at the Iridium Cave, because something's grown in there. And then there's that section just over to the right behind the pillars, which we had a look at. And you can see there is that whole thing growing up the top. And if we have a look around here, there's some zeolite, which is cool. There's nothing that you seem to be able to do with the pitcher plant currently. There isn't anything you can seem to do with it. Let's just grab the zeolite while we're here. We will start needing more and more of that. Now, I have emptied some of this stuff out. Definitely can't be bothered with any more of those, because we've got plenty. Absolutely plenty. And this, there, leads you out just above my rocket. Woohoo! And what we're going to do, after we've had a quick look around, especially over there and the gulch, it's not really a gulch, is it? I don't know. I think you Americans have a really good word for it, but I don't remember exactly what the damn word was. It's not a canyon. I suppose you could call it a canyon. Uranium rods. And this stuff I've just been dumping into these boxes anywhere for the time being. So let's go over that way. Now you'll notice down the bottom left we're now down to 0.3 per second. So this gives ourselves a lot longer rolling around in here without having to worry too much about O2. I did grab a whole pile of O2 anyway. And now look, since we were wandering through here earlier and there was just dirt, now we've even got water. And if we come around here, we'll go up the top. I'm not sure if I can make that yet. I definitely need the bigger jetpack. Oh well. I've gone out the wrong place. So let's go back in and then go... Is it this way? Could be this way. And... Yep, definitely came out the wrong way there. Let's go back in the way we know. I've just gone turned around looking for the trunks. I thought there was some more. Oh, in fact, there's one up there. Up we go. And let's climb to the top. And there is more super alloy up here. And there's a couple of boxes. May as well eat that. I'm always going to want super alloy. I'll come back later and I'll get all of this stuff. Now, it's kind of difficult doing it with this tier 1 or tier 2 jetpack. As you can see, can't make that jump. So we need the tier 3 to be able to do that. So when we've got that, we'll come back and have a look. I'll show you, see if there's anything of interest in any of those other boxes. But what we want to do now is we want to go over this way and into this little canyon section where all the waterfalls are. And as you can see, you've now got all these trees that lead you up to the top of these plateaus. There's a couple of other areas you can go up here as well. Anything of interest up here as yet? Nothing. A bit of zeolite. I'll come back for that at a later date. There's some more zeolite over that way. There's another plant over there. You can actually get that plant and that gives you a pretty good oxygen boost as well. In fact, there's one right here. An arema plant. And if we look at that, 450%, which isn't bad. Now, there are also caves in the side of here that have now opened up. And this one, as you can see, is an iridium cave. But if we come to the back, again, we need explosives. Can't get in there yet. It's somewhere we're going to have to look at later. We don't need this iridium. We've got so much iridium that it's a bit of a joke just having all of that there nowadays. I'm not even going to bother. I mean, we are collecting iridium in our closest iridium cave itself, so there's no real point in going that way. So, but there is another cave entrance. You can just see it over there. Let's just run up here. Oh, look, a box. That's always good to have. Definitely the super alloy. Definitely that. And look, a circuit board. Gonna want those. And we'll come back for the rest of this at a later time. Because we can make all of that. Now, before we go down into that hole, we're going to check out that spaceship. And as you can see, there's a way of getting up and down now, rather than just dropping down and having to run all the way across that away. I can't remember if we've been in here before. Yes, we must have done, because there's nothing left in there. And as usual, always have a look around behind waterfalls. So before we go back up that way, Let's go and have a look in that cave. I'm pretty sure we've been through this one, but let's check. Yep. And here we are. And this one is underwater. Some more osmium. And there's another box. What's in the box? We don't really need the osmium box. The fuses, definitely grab those. Yeah, let's grab that. And the bioplastic's a pain in the neck to make, so let's grab some of that while we're here. Now, you'll notice that the O2 usage has definitely gone down quite considerably. So let's just stick our head back above water. And this leads us out here. So it's a completely different entrance to the cave system itself. So, and there's a load of osmium down here if we needed it. We might come back for that because we are going to need a load of osmium rods. And here is another, just a way of just getting a bit more O2. That way's on our way out. So let's pop that. And that is everything in this cave. So there's not a massive amount, but there is some osmium. Which, like I say, we're going to need, because osmium rods do take 9 osmium to make, and you do need, can't see it as yet, but we're very close to getting it. The tier 3 requires osmium rods, and it can be a bit of a pain to make that stuff. So let's go over this our way, and we're going to have a look on top of here. Actually, we haven't had a look behind here yet, so let's have a quick peek just to see if there's anything. I don't think there is, but yeah, I've been known to be wrong before. No, definitely not. But you just want to have a look on that ledge and see if there's anything that's cool up here. Because we haven't been down this way yet. Alright, now this is a whole pile of super alloy asteroids. This is dangerous. Quite dangerous. You get hit by one of those, you'll lose probably about half your health. I don't want to lose any health right now, because if I do lose health, or if I do die, obviously I'm going to drop everything that I've got. So I'm going to try and want to get back to my box pretty darn quick. And there is one just over this way, if you remember rightly. But considering I've got access to super alloy, I'm not that worried about getting all of that right now. Although I will grab those. Can you make it up there? Yes, you can. It doesn't last long, and like I say, when they do appear, they appear around you where you're first standing most of the time. So if you get out of that area, then you're pretty okay. But yeah, it can be a little bit dangerous. So let's grab some O2 before I die. And while we're over this way, let's just grab some more food. Eat that one because we can. Now, was there anything in here that we left that we might want? No, not at all. Alright, well that was a bit exciting. So, what we're going to do next is we're going to go make that trading shuttle. The trading shuttle it's called? The trade space rocket. We are going to need some circuit boards though. So on the way back, we know there's the big wreck. There's also the wreck that's relatively close to us, and there's also in the super alloy area there is another wreck which we can get some circuit boards from as well. But now that we have the tier 2 tool, we can break down those things and get circuit boards. Before we do that, have we got anything in here we don't want? Don't really want that, to be perfectly honest. But that we will be able to pick up 9 circuit boards. So let's just go with that for the time being. I don't remember exactly where they are in here, but let's just... I thought there was some on the side. Here we go. Now, as you can see, you get one per. Any more down here? Any more? See if I can save myself having to go up there. No, not. I don't think we can actually do anything in here, can we? Oh no, there's some against the wall here. Look at that. Something didn't notice earlier on. Some of these places, if you run around with your deconstruction tool open, you can break down walls and you can find other stuff. Don't need that. Do want that. I do want that, but I don't really need it right now. Now, I'm going to keep those though. In fact, I can make more of these as well. And we've got plenty of osmium. What have we got that we don't really need? Because I do want that osmium rod. We got a load of rocket engines, so let's grab that. And, oh, we do want this. 100 Terra tokens. That's definitely something that we want. So if we don't left click, you put it into your inventory, but we right click that and we get to Terra tokens. Terra tokens are what you spend in the trading rocket to get you new tech, new blueprints. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back now and we're going to build ourselves a trade rocket and see just how expensive everything is. It'll get its own box at some point. Alright, that's what we want. We're not going to do anything about it right now, but let me get everything together because we're going to want these. Well, we're going to want one of those. You can only build one of them. But if we look at these guys, see you need osmium rod, super alloy rod, iridium, and a whole pile of titanium. Thankfully, we've got bucket loads of the iridium. We've got a fair whack of osmium super alloy. So what we'll end up doing is going around, putting a load of these down. They do take 346 energy each, which is only, oh, in fact, it's not even double that, but it's a targeted extractor. And that's what we're after, a targeted extractor. Okay, let's get that trade shuttle built. As you can see by the pinned recipes in the top left, though, we have something new. The Tier 3 jetpack popped up. So I built that. We're going to get around a bit quicker now. We don't need that there anymore. In fact, we don't need the other one either, so we may as well get rid of that because we're about to build this and have a look and see exactly what this is going to allow us to do. Now you'll notice that ladder doesn't come all the way down, which is kind of annoying. So rather than build that there, we're actually going to build it onto the end of this. We're not going to need... Come here. There we go. We're not going to need the stairs. So if we build that there, what we need to do now is we need to run over here and have a look. So, the valuable items that we can currently sell them are these suckers. A uranium rod is only worth 8 Terra tokens. You've got 6 for iridium, 6 for things, which is weird because you would think that the super alloy rod would be worth more than the uranium, but it's not. The rockets themselves are pretty good. The bacteria samples, not so much. The cookies, we can't make those yet, so there's no point in worrying about those. So the one thing you can do with this is basically get a massive amount of uranium rods and then just flog them off, because there are a few things in here that are really quite good. As you can see, we have blueprints. We've got beds, sofas, smart fabric, cooking stations. We've got fuses. We've got pressure multipliers, heat multipliers, plant multipliers, oxygen multipliers. We've got enough of those at the moment. We don't need to worry about that, but look at how much they are. 2,500 points. That's ridiculous. But if we go further down, we've got more blueprints. And this is the one that is probably the biggest thing that I want to go for. And then there's also the energy multiplier fuse, because that will allow you to get a fair amount more energy. Imagine this, you've got one of those tier 2 machine optimizers with 3 energy multiplier fuses. You don't need to build more than 8 of the fusion generators, and you are then producing an unbelievable amount of energy. There's a few other things. You've got a 3x3 living compartment, which is much better for production. Tier 2 drones. We'll get into drones when they come around, but you can have those go pick up all the stuff that's being mined and bring it back to your base for you, so you don't have to worry about going back out. You've got rounded living departments, hologram projectors, they look pretty cool. A fountain, why that is 20,000 points I don't know, but it is. And a living compartment with a dome. And yeah, again, 25,000. The numbers on these things are pretty strange, but there's not much that we can do about getting a lot here. The thing about getting a lot there is... Let's go have a drink. We go back into our base and look at this. Where is it? It's way along here. That! You can get absolutely massive amounts of, come on brain cell, Terra tokens by going through the portal generators. But it's going to take a little while before we get to that yet, so we'll just have to worry about that at a later date. As you can see, we're going to need tier 3 tree spreaders to get to that first before we get to the osmium rods. So we need 36 GTI. We're at 31 currently. So if we put a whole pile more of the, I was going to say a whole pile more, but 4 more of those suckers up, and then put a whole pile of rockets up. But I mean, the GTI is going up relatively fast at the moment, so we may not need to do that. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take all of the osmium rods, all of the iridium, not the iridium rods, uranium rods, and the south super alloy rods, and we're going to go and we're going to build, rather than strip these down. And as you can see, we get actually we get super alloy and the iridium back, but tier 3 tree spreader. That's helpful. And then we're going to only need to take osmium rods and some titanium with us. Because we're doing so pitifully on this thing up here, what I've done is, as you can see by the top left, I've pinned a couple of those tier 3 tree spreaders. What we're going to do is we're going to come over here. I think one over here will do. Now the tree seeds that we have aren't the best, but look at that. 6,800 per second for oxygen, and it ups the plants as well. So if we dump this down here, come over, we'll stick, I see, these are 125. You can get better trees than this, and when we get them, we certainly will swap them over. And we're going to put the other one, I think, over here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to pump a bucket load of rockets up just to make sure that we can get our TI going, generation at least, a lot quicker. Because we're going to want some of those extra things, because we're going to want to get, because this is overall generation, and as you can see the rods are almost there. Then we've got the fusion energy cells, which means we can break into those wrecks even further, and then that also brings up at 45 the drones and the logistic drones, which are going to be extremely helpful. And you'll notice there's a T2 spreader there with the oxygen, because we haven't pumped up the oxygen a great deal. First, what we're going to want, now I can't remember exactly what rockets we've got left. I know we're going to need a bit more super alloy, because I've gone through a bit of that. So if we look at this now, we are going to need, actually get rid of that. We're going to need some of these. We're definitely going to need those. The plant rocket. So that is going to be the plant multiplier. And then we've got the oxygen multiplier, which we want to pump up as well. And we've got all of that. So let's grab those. Ah, look, tier 2 flower spreaders have come up. Which is definitely a good thing because that's going to increase plant stuff as well. Okay, I've just come up to get some super alloy. And I noticed something. Something that's quite important. Let's get rid of that for the time. No, get rid of that. I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, and I can probably get rid of half of the stuff that's on here as well. Like, I don't need any of those. 1, 2, 3. And I brought these because we're going to put some of these in instead. Now, this, if I click on here, select the type of item to extract. Super alloy, that's the only thing that we want. Now, what we're also going to do while we're at it, actually no, we can't do it already because we don't have the drones yet. Like I said, there'll be another thing that pops up here that allows you to say, supply, and you can just supply it, anything. I am going to need to empty probably all of that out for the time being, because I'm going to need to get rid of all of this as well. Oh God, I'm not going to have enough room in here, am I? No, I'm not. Oh, sugar. Okay, this will take a second. I'm just going to have to dump stuff back into here for the moment. Let's get rid of all of that. Create another box. 1, 2, 3. Oh, too far. And then dump. I need 3 of these. I don't need the osmium. Look at that. Now we can build our own osmium rods. That's going to be helpful. There we go. Now you'll notice the box is a lot smaller, but considering it's only now producing super alloy, it's going to be a lot more helpful, eh? Right, what don't we need honors right now? That's not looking too bad. So let's grab as much of the super alloy as we can. And then, because we're going to need the super alloy for all of the rockets over here. Actually, don't really need that yet either. We are going to need a bit more cobalt so we can build those suckers. And back we go. Actually, before we go back, an update. Look at the bottom left of our screen. You'll see we've got the infinity sign next to our O2. We now no longer need to carry O2 around when we go exploring. If we're going to go underwater, that is definitely going to be needed because, yeah, obviously you can't breathe underwater. Even though you can breathe the atmosphere, we can't breathe underwater. So if we go down here, you can see it's now down to minus 4.3 per second when we're underwater. So we're still going to need some. It's all going to need some when we go to places that we're required to get through water, but we no longer need it to get from A to B, which is really quite cool. Okay, the first of our updates. I've got enough for 3 O2 rockets, and as you can see, we're currently at 19,500-ish PPQs. Let's just grab some food. And let's see, so it's 19,500. What it's going to end up as... And those... Did I not pick up the bacteria samples? Oh no, I didn't. Oh well. Back of this away. Where have I got all the bacteria? See, there's so many of these darn boxes with all this stuff spread all over the place. In fact, we may only have enough for those. So what do we need for bacteria? 3 water, 3 algae. Well, that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Where did I stick the algae? 1, 2, 3, and let's go grab 1, 2, 3. So I was saying about you still need the water, so don't get rid of your water production. And we're going to want 1 more of you. Run back this away. I'm going to see some more funny shenanigans with placing a load of these down. Darn, I was sure I was close enough to that. And away they go. Off in all sorts of weird directions. Now you don't get any meteors from these. It just grows green, or everything goes green, and you get kind of particles coming down from the sky. There we go, look at that. Lots of green particles and bits. Now if we have a check on our PPQs, we've now got 500,000. It's going up a lot quicker. It's not as much needed now that we have infinite O2, but I wanted to pump it up anyway. But now we're also going to want more heat, but it will get us I don't know why we're worrying about the T2 spreader, but the water life collector is definitely going to be useful in the long run. But now we're going to get some more for these guys, because these guys will go up much quicker, and they're a lot easier to make. As you can see, it only really requires silicon as well as the engines, which are in here. 1, 2, 3 of those. We're going to want 9 and 6 super alloy. And then we're going to pump some up. We're going to get a whole pile of meteors coming down in a moment. Because effectively pumping up the overall GTI expansion is going to give us, look at that, we're now up to 5 million. So that's going to bring our GTI up a lot quicker, so we can get all the way along this, because the drone station is definitely going to be something that we're going to want. Definitely. And we're going to want tier 2 drones as well. I'm pretty sure I opened up a microchip thing that gave us that. See, it just sank underwater there. It's still trying to get places. Alright, let's do the last of these 3. And then what we're going to do is we're going to build a fusion cell. Because it shouldn't be long in coming up now. 40. See, we're really close. And then we're going to go have a look in one of the wrecks, open that up, and we'll see what turns up, eh? Alright, well, as you can see, we've just got past 40 GTI, which now allows us to build fusion cells. Which does mean we're going to have to go for a wander. Because we've got pulsar quartz, we've got osmium, but I think we've only got like about 1 obsidian left. 2. So, I am going to go build a couple of... Actually, let me get rid of those. Going to want 1 of those. Build a couple of those over in the lava area. Grab, whilst I'm there, some more obsidian. And we're going to build some of those obsidian, of the fusion cells, and go have a look in some of those wrecks. That'll be a bit of fun, won't it? It's kind of tempting to build 2 of these while I'm at it. How much energy have we got? So, we're going to be... we got 1,500. We're going to be taking up 700 from there. 2 of those is going to require another 600. So we've got enough to build 2 of those, and that will get me teleported over to the other place quicker. So we've got enough energy to do that. So, yeah. Let's do that. We're over at our obsidian box here. So what we want to do is put down a couple of ore extractors. Come on, go across one more. Are they the same? Why are you not built there? Ah, I've got to get rid of whatever's behind it first. There we go. And come around that way. There we go. And we're going to want you to only do obsidian. Now, another thing that we did was put a teleporter right next to our main door at our main base. So if we grab that. Yeah, that's facing us. Let's have that there. We're going to call this obsidian. This is lowering the amount of energy we've got left quite dramatically. And if you just click on that, you see you can get to the main base straight away. But we're going to want to get some obsidian whilst we're here. Magnesium, I don't want that. And there's more super alloy over here as well. Now, I'm not going to need a massive amount just yet. It's just because it's super alloy, you know. You're always wanting super alloy, so you're always running around grabbing the damn stuff. But let us grab this for the time being. That should be enough to get us through, because we'll go to the big wreck first rather than going to the smaller wreck. Because the bigger wreck will have more places to undo. And look at that, we don't have to worry about O2. Isn't that fantastic? Excellent! Right, now, what else do we need? Let's get rid of you guys now. 1 obsidian, we need 2 osmium and 3 pulsar quartz. Let's build these suckers first. And then let's drop all the rest of this lot off. Okay, we're here. Actually, we only needed 1. So let's dump that in there. You'll notice this is going to... Did you heard the little thing? But they're worth 80 Terra tokens. They're not worth using those at the moment to use as a trading thing. Not until later anyway. There are some more boxes down here that have a few odds and sods in that I'll want. Oxygen multiplier, yep, give me that. More bacteria, save me having to make it. Nitrogen capsule. Don't need it yet, but let's grab it anyway. We may get rid of it later because we're going to find, look at that, these have opened. And there are some special boxes in here, these guys. Look at this, open the big safe. Look at all of the Terra tokens, and this is where you're going to get your original Terra tokens from. And this is where you're also going to find, and this is apart from trading, these are the only places you will find energy multiplier fuses. This is going to help us massively. We want that. And let's get rid of, just right click on all of those suckers. And get all the bits that we know we're going to want. I'm not going to worry about those just yet. You get some more circuit boards. And some more pulsar quartzes. And like I said, this is the only place you're really going to find things like pulsar quartz regularly, fuses, and the Terra tokens. So you're going to want to make sure you come in and you want to open all of these suckers. There's only 1 in these guys, but there are more of these. And this is going to allow us to build more energy fusion generators. Don't really need iridium rods yet. Still got a fair whack of those. And I don't really need super alloy anymore. I'm going to grab it for the time being. If needs be, we will get rid of it and then swap it out for something else. Those are a pain in the neck to get, so always grab those suckers. Now remember, this was only one place. There were other places that we could go that had doors. I can't remember off the top of my head in this one whether there's any more, but we're about to find out. Oh, there's another one that's opened. Let's get rid of the iron, because that is more important than iron. Don't really need those yet, but let's... We don't... How many? We've got 5 circuit boards in there for the time being. We don't need that. Now, you need circuit boards to make rocket engines, so they're well useful things to have. So let's just grab those. We're going to ferry those back to the main base. Now, I don't remember off the top of my head whether there's any more of these down here, but let's check anyway to see if there are any doors that have opened. Since we don't need to worry about O2 anymore, we can spend a bit of time in these places searching them out. We're at the wreck on the top of the hill, and here we have this fusion guy. Now, there were a couple of doors out here. How many of these have... That one didn't open. Not all of them will. But there are a couple of boxes around, and look at this, more pulsar quartz. A bit more osmium, grab that, grab that. Actually, let's grab the iridium rod anyway. I don't think we need it, but let's grab it. Certainly don't need the seeds. And that's more important than anything else. Alright, another energy multiplier fuse. So what we're going to do when we get back is we're going to build a machine optimizer and power up some of those suckers. Oh, that's 1,000. Well, there's 2,000. Now, can we... I don't remember rightly if we can see it from here. Whoop. No. I thought there was a way of... I can't remember rightly though, but I thought there was a way of actually seeing just how many Terra tokens you had. That is definitely needed because that's going to come in handy to build some more of the T3 ore extractors. And let's go see if there's anything elsewhere that has opened up. I don't think there's anything else in this one, but I could be wrong. Oh, I am wrong. Come on, let me through. That should hopefully be everything. Oh yeah. Oh my god, there's just so much in here that I want. Yeah, grab that. Let's get rid of all of the iron. And then we can get all of this lot as well. Okay. Let's get back to the base. And we'll put up the energy optimizer and see just exactly how much more power we're going to be generating. This is going to be fun. Okay, so I've got all the gubbins required to build the energy machine optimizer, and I've got the 2 energy fuses that we have at the moment. So that's going to give us a 1,000% increase in our energy production. So we are currently producing, well, we've got 217 left available, which is, well, obviously not a lot right now, is there? So let's go here. And what we're going to do is we're going to stick this devil right here, and then eventually we'll just have like 8 of these and have a load of these things going. So we had 217 available. Now remember, it's going to be doing all of the, well, as many of the rest of those as we can as well. Now we've got 9,955 spare, which basically means that that is going to allow us to tear down all the tier 2 extractors and then put in a whole pile of tier 3 extractors. Oh, by the way, while we're here, so we now have 6,600 Terra tokens available, which is going to allow us to buy the tier 2 storage. That's pretty cool. We want that because the tier 2 storage allows you to get a massive amount of more stuff going. Let's buy that and let's launch it. And that's going to take a little while. Now we are currently at 53 GTI, which now means that we can build, where is it? This sucker here, the drone station. We're going to want that. We're definitely going to want that. Let's get rid of that. We're going to need a fusion energy cell. Probably just going to add them to the end of this, I think. Yeah, we'll just put some more squares down and all the foundations down and then add it to this. Actually, no. This has been a bit of a long episode so far. So, take care everyone, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!